Adolescents ought to have the right to make autonomous medical choices. I'll start by defining the terms for you. According to World Health Organization, adolescents are young people between the age of 10 and 19. Ought, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is that which should be done. Have the right is a duty and an obligation. And autonomous is free from external control or influence, able to act independently. So what this statement now reads is, young people between the ages of 10 and 19 should have independence to make their own medical decisions. Let me tell you about Jorge, a 13-year-old boy pulled out of school when he was found to have leukemia. He was put into chemotherapy, and he showed signs of slight depression. However, he soon recovered and went back to school until they found more leukemia. He was the doctors told him to do a bone transplant, but they'd have to be put on the wait list. Jorge was asked what was the chances of him living, and the doctors replied, 40% of the children survive and are disease-free for 5 years. Jorge didn't like these odds, and so he decided that he didn't want to go through with the procedure. His parents disagreed and forced him to have meetings with the doctors and psychologists. However, Jorge still didn't want to go through with the treatment. He didn't want to have to go through the pain that he may not even be able to live. However, his parents went behind his back and put his name on the list anyways. Did the parents do the right thing here? This was an expert from the decision making about medical care in adolescent life and life-threatening illness. Not only do parents go behind children's backs, but sometimes they don't even tell their kids that they are sick. An 11-year-old boy with leukemia was constantly feeling sick, constantly having to go to treatment, but his parents didn't tell him what was wrong with him. He asked the nurse, but she couldn't reply. The parents were scared that it would affect the child mentally. And parents aren't the only ones who withhold information. Doctors do too. If they don't think the child is mature enough, they won't tell them the whole story. However, according to Brockman and Monroe, the American Medical Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics says the doctors have to disclose all the information, including the risks and side effects. So by not telling them, the doctors are actually breaking the law. But they want the children to make the choices that they think are right. According to the United Nations Human Rights, in the United Nations, children have the right to have freedom of speech right. They are listened to, and what they say is taken into consideration. Anderson and Montgomery believe with children having the right to decide. In a study, they found that parents don't like to make the decisions. Adolescents and their parents sometimes have different views. A child may rather die than go through the pain and suffering of going through chemo. In another study by Gregory, Murrow, and Hanuch, they looked at a bunch of different students, and the kids wanted to be responsible for their medical decisions. They didn't want their parents to be responsible. They didn't shy away from the hard decisions. They listened to everything the doctors had to say, and they decided on what they wanted to do with their life. There's also the side that teenagers avoid getting help when they're sexually active because they don't want their parents involved. According to Bernstra and Nash, adolescents who are sexually active tend to avoid getting help if they become pregnant or require an STD because they don't want to involve their parents. And sometimes parents don't even buy girls birth control because they're scared that it'll make them think, oh, I can go out and have sex. But in reality, the girls are just trying to protect themselves. So adolescents should be able to make their own decisions, because they know more than we think that they do.